And will you stay on or will you resign?
Well, I'm not going to speculate. I've said right from the beginning, I will fully cooperate, and I will continue to fully cooperate. In this bizarre set of circumstances, I am going to step aside. I don't want to go through.
Why didn't the Attorney General take the appropriate action to ensure the investigation would not be tainted? Did he really think that no one would notice, this record of support for the Liberal Party from this law firm?
I think when I listened to the submission and the question made by the member for New Westminster, she is in a not so veiled way attempting to suggest that I or some member of the government was aware of this before it became public yesterday. And since that seems to be a widely held view on the opposition benches, I will encourage them to step outside this chamber and make that assertion out in the hallway.
What we know is this law firm, Harper Gray, has given over $50,000 to the BC Liberal Party since 1998, including donations to the campaign of the member from Fraserview. We also know that Terence Robertson, the special prosecutor, gave $1,000. And this Attorney General wants us to believe that nobody over there twigged to the fact that a major donor, that a law firm who one of the senior members of vets Liberal candidates, in fact, had this responsibility as special prosecutor. The question I have for the Attorney General is not why didn't he talk to the special prosecutor, why didn't he or somebody on that side call the criminal justice branch and say, we have a problem?
The member for Hastings reveals much about what he either doesn't understand or chooses not to understand about the operation of the independent special prosecution branch and process in this province. But I heard and saw the member thumping his desk as his colleague next to him made her assertion, made her allegation. If he is as confident of that allegation as he seems to be, then I encourage him to step out into the hall and make it absent the kind of protection that exists for members in this chamber.
And it's outrageous that this government allows the appointment of an insider law firm to in fact conduct the special prosecution. How can the people of this province have any respect for this government or this minister?
I have a prediction. In about 6.5 minutes, but who's counting, the member for Hastings will leave the chamber, and he will be approached by members of the media, and he will be asked to repeat what he has just uttered in this chamber. And I predict that he will not. He will
take
not.
Your seat, Attorney.
It is not true, Mr. Speaker.
Just take your seat for a second.
To apologize to the voters of British Columbia, and in particular to the voters of Fraserview, for the BC Liberal dirty tricks and smear campaign that took place during the election.
I have no hesitation in saying that I regret very much that an independent special prosecution process that was designed to ensure the integrity of a prosecution, designed to ensure that examinations and investigations could take place at arm's length from the political arm of government, did not operate as it is intended and did not operate in a way that instills confidence in the people of British Columbia. And for that, I am sorry.
And that answer just follows in the answer the Premier gave a couple of hours ago. He was interviewed in the media, and he had the opportunity at that particular point in time to apologize to the people of this province and the voters of Fraserview for the dirty tricks and smear campaign that took place during the election. He chose not to. He didn't do the appropriate thing. Demonstrating, Honourable Speaker, that not only is he out of touch, he's yesterday's man, Honourable Speaker. The people of this province expect the Premier of the BC Liberal Party to be accountable. So I will give the Deputy Premier one more chance to stand and do in this House what the Premier wouldn't do, and that is to apologize to the voters of Fraserview for the dirty tricks and smear campaign that the BC Liberals conducted in the riding of Vancouver-Fraserview.
Unfortunately, what the Honourable Member, Opposition House Leader, has chosen to do, and I'm saddened by it, has been to predetermine the outcome of matters that are very much the subject of an investigation, the subject of a review by a special prosecutor, and the member says people are charged. Yeah, actually they are. I don't know if the member has ever been before the court as a defendant. Maybe he has. Maybe he has been before the court as a defendant. Maybe he's before the court as a defendant right now, in fact. But Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we will not be commenting on matters that are the subject of a trial. We will not be commenting on matters that are before the court, and will receive the proper consideration by an independent adjudicator of the facts, which is the Court of British Columbia.
For almost a full 30 minutes, the Attorney General has minimized what has happened here. And let's be clear what's gone on. We have an election that is tainted by vile, and there's no other words to describe it but vile actions and possibly criminal acts by the BC Liberals. A supposedly independent investigation comprehensively undermined by BC Liberal insiders. Those are the facts. A premier that is so out of touch that when he comments, he portrays the member of Vancouver Fraserview as a victim in all of this. Those are the facts. The question for this minister is, when is someone from that government, maybe the Deputy Premier can stand up and do this on behalf of the Premier. When are the BC Liberals going to stand up, take responsibility for what has gone on here, which every British Columbian feels is complete disgrace, and apologize to the people of British Columbia?
An independent process that revolves around the appointment of a...
Members, whoa, members, attorney, just take your seat for a second. Member, withdraw that statement, please. Unconditionally, please.
Unconditionally.
An independent prosecution process that revolves around the appointment of a special prosecutor. That process did not operate as it should. It did not operate as the people of British Columbia are entitled to expect that it would. But to seize upon that and come into this chamber and cast the kind of aspersions, malign the character of individuals the way these opposition members have today, Mr. Speaker, speaks volumes about the regard that this opposition has for the justice system and this opposition has for the notion of the rule of law, Mr. Speaker. We will let that process unfold as it should, independent of any interference by any member of this government.
Bell ends question period.